Well, hello there. I'm going to start a new YouTube channel, I think. So I'm going to be calling it Narrowboat Jeweller. I bought a narrowboat last summer, and we managed to sail it up the Leeds-Liverpool Canal as far as Skipton. And then the December lockdown came, and then the January lockdown came before we had a chance to actually start our continuous cruising. So it was a bit of a downer really, but there you go. We're going to get back onto that 12th of April this year, and we will start our continuous cruising then. And really the channel that I'm starting is a cruising channel. I'm also a jeweller. I've been a jeweller for since 1972 I think I started, and what have you. So I'm going to be making a little bit of jewellery on the boat and selling it as I go along. I've got a trader's license which starts from beginning of next month. So all being well, we should be able to produce some nice interesting videos for you. Okay, so I'm very new to YouTubing. I'm very new to photography. So I'm trying different cameras, I'm trying different ways of doing it. I've tried my mobile phone, and I was relatively okay with the results of those. I'm now trying a camera that I've had for some time but not used for some time, a Kodak EasyShare. So I'm going to be trying that. The videos that I've put on so far, 2 videos, are experimental. They're me just trying to learn how to do it, but I'm one of those people that have to actually see it. I have to be able to get hold of it on my television or on my computer before I can really judge how it's going. It doesn't matter how much you play the video yourself in your own media, without it being sort of public, I don't really get the impression. So that's why they're up there. Once I get going, I'll probably be deleting those first couple of episodes or so. I'm going to be doing another one today, editing it and sending it off. Obviously it's not a cruising video, it's just a walk near where I live, and it's called the Egg Walk. So we're going to be doing that. I'm going to be doing a little bit of filming on the way, and I'm going to intersperse it with telling you something about myself and what our plans, what we're hoping to do. I say myself, there's myself and my wife. She's a bit camera shy at the moment, so she's not joining in at this stage, but all being well, within a week or two, within a few episodes, she'll be joining me on the videos as well. Okay, so first clip is about my boating experience. I've had a boat for many years, very seldom been without one. We've had a narrowboat before, a 57-foot narrowboat. That was probably 20 years ago. We toured some of the, mainly the northern canals, but we thoroughly enjoyed it. It was lovely. We've had some what we used to call Tupperware boats. Nothing to be decrying about them. I've thoroughly enjoyed having GPR craft, and they've worked very well for us. So there we go. I've also had a cruiser, Sea Line 310 Ambassador, which for the last 2 years, well, between 17 and 19, we went over to France. So I took it over the channel, went in at Calais, went in at Dunkirk, joined the French network, and we toured a lot of the French canals, not all of them. We strayed into Belgium for a few days, and that was a really nice 2 years experience. Obviously we weren't living over there. It wasn't a continual cruising experience that we're going for this time. It was holiday basically, but extended holiday. Because we're retired, we were able to get out there for 5 and 6 weeks at a time. We did about 4 stints a year of somewhere between 5, 6, 7 weeks. So that was very nice. We enjoyed France. That was before this Brexit thing happened. So it was a lot easier then. I don't know what it's like now, but we've done it. So we're not planning on doing any more abroad. We're wanting to concentrate now on the UK canals, and we're wanting to do the continual cruising. So we're beginning to look at the house that we've got, decide what to do with it, and whether to sell it, whether to rent it, or whether just to have it as a boat hole. We don't quite know what to do yet, but we'll keep you informed of that. Okay, clip 2. Jewellery experience. I started jewellery in 1972. It's a little shop in the north of England, and I went into retail, and within a little while I had 1 or 2 little shops. I think I ended up with 5 altogether, not all at the same time. I never had 5 all at once, but I had 5 jewellery shops over a period of about 8 or 10 years. And then Russia invaded Afghanistan, and the gold prices went absolutely haywire. And it was very, very difficult in retail, because over Christmas, they did this at Christmas time. Over Christmas, the gold price went up from, I think, something like $30 an ounce to $300 an ounce. It was tenfold. And that was quite a difficult time. So all the Christmas stock had gone, you can imagine, and then suddenly in January, to replace that stock, we were having to pay many, many times the price, and that wasn't the income to do it. So I started doing repair work, and my career in jewellery really has been repairing all sorts of jewellery. Obviously mainly gold jewellery, because that was the most popular, and we did trade work, so we worked for a lot of the high street jewellers throughout the country. We had couriers going around and collecting and delivering and that sort of thing. So it was a reasonably high pressure type of environment. And eventually I sort of quietened down and just started working on my own. Had a few trade customers, did a little bit of retail work, and what have you. And then eventually I retired. So that's it. That's the sort of thing I've done. I've done anything from ring sizing for Ratners in the old days, to manufacturing sapphire and diamond rings for other retail jewellers. So there we are. So I've concentrated on repair work, but now what I'm trying to do, I enjoy just making a little bit of silver jewellery, copper jewellery, aluminium I'm using as well. So it's all very much handcrafted stuff, and I'm hoping to sell a little bit as I go around. I'm not under the illusion that I'm going to make enough to pay for the whole trip, but it'll contribute it, and I'm doing it really as a hobby and to keep my hand in at things as well. So that's the jewellery side of thing. So that's why we're calling the channel Narrowboat Jeweller. So that seems to make sense. I'm finally decided on that. That's what it's up there at the moment as, but I might change the name. We don't know. We'll have to see how this works. If we carry straight on, we get to some lovely wooded areas, really nice wooded areas for walking. But we're not going to carry straight on today. We're going to turn left and head ourselves somewhere else. You can see the wooded area I'm talking about in the distance. So that's a really nice walk, but that's probably for another day. So we're going to turn left and see what we find. Okay, interruption 3 then. I mentioned in the introduction that the walk that we're doing, the bits of video clip that you've seen so far, are on a walk which is locally called the Egg Walk. I can't think of any reason for that, except that it goes past one of these modern broiler houses where they produce eggs, and I'm talking a lot of eggs. We have large wagons going in and collecting them on a daily basis. But did you know that up until the beginning of the 1900s, there wasn't a proper system for producing eggs? Chickens were kept mainly as farmyard scavengers, and they kept the farmyards clean of loose grain that had been spilt and that sort of thing, and produced eggs for the local market and for the farmers and for the peasants that worked on the farms. And it wasn't it wasn't able to be very commercial. There were a few commercial growers, and they were called crammers and fatteners. So you can imagine the sort of things that they did. They used to fatten the birds up, but there was no proper distribution network, and the distribution was done by people who were called hagglers. And a haggler were sort of itinerant traders who concentrated and specialised in poultry and chickens and small game. Oh, it's a stag. This is the first time we've done this bit of the walk. We believe this is meant to join an A road that we have to then cross to continue the walk. So we'll see if that actually happens. So in 1928, the National Mark Scheme was started. This was between the government and the National Farmers Union, and this ensured that you could get high quality egg production on a reliable basis. And then in 1930 they introduced the first battery cages, and the key thing here was that they had supplementary lighting, so they could extend the laying day of the eggs, and production could go up quite a lot. The Okay, insect 4. So by the time the first beginning of the last century, 1900s, came around, egg production was a bit hit and miss in the country. And we did actually import quite a lot of eggs at that time. And they were trying to encourage people to start keeping their own chickens. And it was said, there was a newspaper article in the early 1900s which said that if you kept 12 chickens, that would pay enough, that would earn you enough to pay the rent and the rates. However, a magazine was launched called Poultry World to encourage this. And they started a national campaign in 1914, and it was called National Eggs for the Wounded. And very quickly that really got the public's imagination, and they started buying eggs and distributing to the wounded soldiers that were coming back from the war. And within a short space of time they had about 200 depots, and this campaign was producing 1 million eggs a week, and that really was the start of the UK egg production system. So egg production was quite successful and growing a lot between the wars. And then, of course, when the Second World War came in, eggs had to be rationed. First of all, just to ensure an even distribution amongst the population to make sure everybody got their fair share. But as the war went on, feedstuffs chicken feed became very scarce indeed, and egg production went down quite dramatically. And in actual fact, egg rationing didn't end until 1953. Insert 6. Some of the early battery cages only allowed enough space about the size of an A4 sheet of paper for each bird. But in 2012, the law was changed, the European law was changed, and I think it was 600 square centimetres or so had to be allowed per bird. So that was a bit of an improvement. I think the industry now is trying to go towards the barn system. Not quite sure what the barn system is and how that works, but I think it's a lot better than caged birds. And the modern farmer, I think, can have anything up to about 30,000 laying hens to deal with. So it's quite a big industry now. So all I can say is enjoy your eggs. Double fried egg for breakfast. Can't be anything nicer.